Veronica was just before we turned on the camera here talking about the James Webb Telescope and the beautiful images that have come now already from the James Webb Telescope. And we encourage you to look at those images. And when you look at them, let yourself realize both what Fred said, which is that's the past, and it's a snapshot of the past. And Veronica really likes, and we really liked, the idea that you imagine that you've taken a photograph of an active waterfall, right? You've taken a photograph of a section of an active waterfall. That's a really good way to think about this. That's a photograph of movement. It's a photograph of evolution. It's a photograph of the past, and then time isn't really a thing, and so there's a whole bit there that we'll let Fred get into later in the month. But it's taking a picture of your place in the universe. What we mean by that is it's taking a picture that shows you you are a galactic citizen. Now, you've had pictures before because you've had your Hubble, and now you have your Webb. You have something more. And instead of it just being, little blobs of light that are incredible for scientists to look at because they actually know how that could be interpreted accurately, it is instead images that are much more accessible to non-scientists, right? So let those images sink in. That one, especially that deep field one that they showed, the very first one, the deep field one. Spend a few minutes looking at that image, and don't think about what you see. Don't wonder why is it shaped that way, what makes it that color, or any of that. Don't do any of that. Don't wonder how far away it is, or, just don't go there, right? Don't go there. Instead, go to the place where you recognize this is me knowing that I am part of the galactic citizenry. So in Star Trek, we know some of you like Star Trek, and of course Veronica really likes it, so we use it as examples occasionally. They have the Federation of Planets, which is basically like, what is it, the one that you guys have that's called, we can't think of what it's called, when the countries that belong to that it's just completely skipped our mind. What is the name of that organization? Oh, not we thought of OPEC too, but it's not OPEC. That's the NATO. We kept thinking NASA. That's the problem we were having, is we kept thinking NASA, and we're like, it's a 4-letter thing that starts with N. Come on. And we did think of OPEC as well. NATO, right? You have this alliance of these organizations, and we're not making any statements about NATO one way or the other. That's not our point. Our point is, you know what it's like to group together countries because you have NATO. Well, in Star Trek, they have the Federation of Planets, right? So this is a federation, a grouping together of planets that agree to certain rules and they're allies, right? You don't have that. Y'all don't have the Federation of Planets thing. You don't have that yet. So you get to do your own individuated version of Federation of Planets by looking at that image and saying, it doesn't matter what my government or my neighbors think. I am a citizen of that. I am a citizen of that. I am a galactic citizen. And we don't necessarily mean just your body. Or we should say, we're not speaking to your body in this moment. We're speaking as a soul. You are a citizen of the galaxy, of the universe, living as a body currently that you're most aware of on Earth. But of course, that's not your only lifetime, and it's not your only Earth lifetime, and it's not your only experience as a soul either. So it might make you feel small to look at that picture, which is okay. Small sometimes means humble. Humans could use some humility, so there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't think of it from personality and instead you take it in as a recognition that you are a galactic citizen, who knows what interesting experience happens inside you? Who knows? But it's definitely an important thing to do. So we invite you to do that, please. And as you do that, and as you recognize you are a galactic citizen, and as you even maybe feel small, make sure small does not become equated to insignificant, because those two things are not the same. Your gingerbread is small, period. In comparison to your planet, your gingerbread is tiny. In comparison to those pictures, you know, they don't make a number that small, really. So don't let tiny or small become a equal sign to insignificant. Your contribution is powerful, meaningful, and noticed. Your contribution to consciousness, your contribution to an evolving relationship to physicality, your contribution to pushing out of what has been previously experienceable into new realms of experience, charting new territories, terraforming new internal land. That's what you're doing. And it has an impact. It ripples. And it is beneficial. You look out in that type of deep field image, and maybe not in any of those planets that are, well, you can't even see down to the planet level, can you? The galaxy level. Those are all galaxies. Yeah. Maybe not any of the galaxies that are specifically in that image. Maybe, but maybe not. But definitely in galaxies, specifically planets, in your night sky that you cannot see with your human eyes, your work in consciousness studies is benefiting. And that's a pretty large statement. And we understand that, and we make it anyway. Just like the other day, Fred brought those friends of his to come over with that red ribbon, remember that? And said, hey, this is what helped us when we surrendered personality. Well, there you go. And that's not up for debate. That's just a fact. That's just Tuesday, right? That's like Veronica likes to say. It is not a disputable thing. It's reality. And probably as a human being, you're not going to learn that much about that. But we wouldn't put it past Fred, so we're not going to say you won't. Fred's on the council for a lot of reasons. Maybe that's one of them, right?